So this is the Town of Darien Monuments and Ceremonies Commission, regularly scheduled meeting, Tuesday, December 14th. At present, the only members in attendance are myself, Terry Gaffney, and Jim Long. So we do not have a quorum. As such, we will not review the minutes from November's meeting. So next on my agenda is commission staffing. The Democrat Town Committee has an applicant in the pipeline for the one vacancy. So I would assume we'll be seeing some action on that between now and our next meeting. The 4 sitting commissioners whose terms are expiring have each been approved by the Republican Town Committee, and the 4 will be interviewed by the Board of Selectmen this coming Monday, the 20th of December. So we anticipate everybody will be reappointed. I do want to note that there was some confusion based on the information posted on the town webpage, which is out of date. So I will be providing the town clerk with updated information, making corrections as needed to what is posted on the website. Next on the agenda is Chairman's report. And Jim, you're the, you're the lone soldier. The first thing I have here is to ask the other commissioners for input on what I'm going to supply to the Board of Selectmen for our year-end summary. The bullet points that I have on there now is that we have this year reduced the number of sitting commissioners from 15 to 9 so that we can more effectively field a quorum.
Right.
That there has been I think a substantial improvement in our cemetery maintenance this year. That despite the COVID scenario, that we did host what I thought was a very successful Memorial Day parade and dedication ceremony afterward. Last December, Wreaths Across America, while not an official responsibility of this commission, the members of this commission are all involved with that. And last year, we covered every headstone and flat stone in the Veterans Cemetery, and we have a sufficient quantity to do so again this year. Actually, we have an overage, and a decision was made to send 500 wreaths up to the Veterans Cemetery in Mansfield, Connecticut, to help them. And I do want to give an especial thanks to Jim DeMark and John King, who once again this year really put their shoulder to the wheel and pushed this wagon uphill. They were responsible for an extraordinary number of contributions. So thank you, Jim and John. While I'm busy giving thanks, a special thanks again to Lucy Berry for her unbelievable contribution to the Veteran Wartime Street Sign program. This year she went over and above in the amount of energy and effort she put in. That our Flag Day ceremony and our Veterans Day Cemetery and our 9/11 Memorial dedication were all successful. A side note also, and thank you to Jim Cameron and TV 29. I was unaware that Jamie Stevenson had sent a letter of thanks and congratulations to the town of Darien, Illinois, which is our sister city. I was unaware of this. And when they did their 9/11 dedication this year, they they dedicated it to the town of Darien this year. And it was actually quite moving that they took the time and effort to talk about the impact on the town here of 9/11. They actually did read the names of the individuals from town who perished at 9/11. But it was quite touching to see that, and thank you, Jim Cameron. That's what I've got for my bullet points to supply to the Board of Selectmen, but as always, I wonder if my cheese is Swiss cheese and has holes in it that I'm not looking at.
You might mention, I would think, the 2020
committee. Thank you, yes, okay.
Because they reported to us.
Thank you.
And I think he did a superb job.
Oh, yeah. He worked like a rented mule.
I tell you, I'd love to get him on this commission.
Okay, I will put the Darien 2020 subcommittee in the report to the Board of Selectmen. Thank you. That's my Swiss cheese, see?
Yeah.
What other holes? What else?
I don't.
All right,
nothing else
come up with
comes-
something.
If something comes up, I'll send you a text.
Okay. Budget review, and I'm sorry that Jim DeMarco is not here today. I wanted to get a sense, because I've got to submit this week all the budget requests. And if I was curious if the money for the cemeteries was sufficient. We had a $10,000 budget for the cemeteries alone. And I know that we've done a lot more work this year, so I'll contact Jim separately away from the meeting. Otherwise, for the budget, I'm simply going to put the numbers in the same as last year because I think they were sufficient for what we needed for both maintenance and ceremonies. And if I remember correctly, if I were smarter, I'd have the numbers right here. I believe we're at $4,500 for maintenance and $2,250 for programs, but whatever the number, that's close if it's not completely accurate, but I thought those numbers were sufficient, so we'll just go for the same numbers again this year. Next on my agenda is the Wartime Veteran Street Sign Program. As mentioned at the meeting last month, a street sign honoring World War I veteran Carmelo Rhoda was dedicated at the corner of Herman Avenue and West Avenue, where Carmelo actually lived for 74 years. The committee does have several applications in the box right now. They will be reviewed over the next several months. Again, the way this program works, we would not award anything more than 2 in any given calendar year, and maybe only 1. We do try to coordinate the dedication of the street signs around Memorial Day weekend and Veterans Day weekend. As mentioned, we do have several applications in, and again, I would like to advise those who are interested. This is a program that is open to veterans who served in combat in an action, in an open theater of conflict. There is an application form on the town website, and one can be picked up at the First Selectman's office. It is incumbent upon those who may be submitting an application to ensure that all of the information is there, as the subcommittee that reviews it are all volunteers, and it is not their responsibility to do the digging to verify. So we do need a complete application for it to be considered. Next on my agenda is the Veterans Day ceremony, which was held in front of Town Hall.
Say it again.
Sorry?
I missed you.
The Veterans Day ceremony
Yes.
was held at Veterans Circle in front of Town Hall. There were approximately 60 people in attendance this year. And the Darien VFW Post 693 provided the color guard, and a new VFW member, new to this chapter, Neil Downing, volunteered to lead the assembly in singing the Star Spangled Banner, which was very nice. Next, I have the Cemetery Committee update. For those who may be driving or walking on the Post Road, the cleanup at Naroton River Cemetery is something hopefully you've noticed. I've actually gotten comments from some of the townsfolk who've actually seen it and taken the time to thank us for getting this done. And this work was all started by Sharon Kells and by Tracy Root. And thanks to them, we've really gotten this off the ground. The Weeds Cemetery, which is located on Weeds Landing on private property, the residents of Weeds Landing were nice enough to give us access to use their driveway to get into the cemetery, so that cemetery has also seen some dramatic improvement. And there are other cemeteries that we're working on as well. Next, I've got Wreaths Across America. And as mentioned earlier, although this is not an official function of this commission, individual commissioners are involved, and we encourage residents to come out this Saturday, the 18th of December. We will be putting the wreaths out starting at 10 a.m. on Saturday, December 18th. Once the wreaths are all in place, the dedication ceremony is scheduled to take place at 12 noon. I would particularly encourage those families with young children to bring the kids, because we do have a tour of the cemetery prior to the ceremony at 12 noon. So again, the wreaths will be laid out starting at 10 a.m. The cemetery tour will take place at 11:40, and the actual ceremony itself will begin at 12 noon. The ceremony is anticipated to take approximately 20 minutes. In the event that it snows Friday and or Saturday morning,
Like it did last year.
yeah, we would ask those who are coming to please consider bringing brooms and or leaf blowers so that we can clear the flat stones before we lay the wreaths out. And again, every one of the wreaths will be covered. And again, a special thank you to John King and to Jim DeMark for their Herculean efforts in banging the drum. They did a great job. In addition to putting wreaths down on all the veterans' headstones and flat stones in the Veterans Cemetery, we also have a very short service, literally a 5-minute service, at the Darien Boat Club at the town dock there, where we place a wreath in the water dedicated to those who lost their lives at sea. And we also place wreaths in addition to the Medal of Honor winner, Oscar Peck, who's buried in the Veterans Cemetery. We have 2 other Medal of Honor winners buried in town. One in St. John's, Homer Wise, and one in the Slauson Cemetery, David Schofield. So we also place wreaths on the graves of the Medal of Honor winners. And as a student of history, for those who are listening, it is not the Congressional Medal of Honor, which is how it's referred to many, many times. It is the Medal of Honor. But we do have 3 Medal of Honor winners buried here in town, so we do like to remember them in a special way also on this day. Next, I have new business, and the one bit of new business I have here is, again, I want to once again acknowledge Al Miller and his Darien 2020 subcommittee for the incredible job they did battling through COVID, etc., and putting on a really terrific dedication day back October 23rd. And the Darien Heritage Trail markers have now been installed. So I would encourage town residents to take a look and walk/bike/drive the trail to see the Darien Heritage Trail markers. And again, we want to once again acknowledge and thank the Darien Foundation for funding this project. And then I would ask, is there any other new business you want to bring up, Mr. Long?
No, sir, there is not. And with that, I would propose that we call a
Carabillo.
Carabillo.
Our Carabillo is in honor of Ed Carabillo, former member of this commission, who was always anxious to get home. So you having raised the Carabillo, I'll second it, and we'll all vote and say
Aye.
aye, aye. Thank you all. Call the meeting to close at 3:52. We set a record.